Ah, so yeah, another video, and like I just want to say this before, if you're sort of triggered by the truth, or offended by it, or just turn this video off. So yeah, why should we kill ourselves? That's the question. But I suppose we have to first look at it from an individual's perspective. Why you should kill yourself. So yeah, this is going to be the brutal truth. So, like, first of all, you're sentient. Right off the bat, you're a sentient being. Sentience means you're suffering. Sentience means that you are in a state of suffering. Because it's always going to be a negative. You're always going to be in a negative state, and once your needs, wants, desires, whatever is being met, you'll you'll get this sense of the positive, but it's just the sense, it's nothing real. So yeah, that's one thing. You're a sentient being, and yeah, now you have along with that, you're also intelligent. You can do 2 plus 2. You can talk language and all of that, communicate ideas, think. Yeah. So yeah, that's then it becomes even more. Yeah. Hey, what's the intelligent thing to do? What should be done by an intelligence here? You know. So yeah, that's one. Then there is uh, death isn't a harm, right? Once you commit suicide, you're dead. And all these people will keep saying to you that no, it's so bad, you're gonna die, you're gonna be dead, it's so bad. They're all deluded, all of them, Sims, rocks. There's just, you're in it's like a false, they're living in a false reality. They don't recognize what's going on. It's stupid. And this one's clear. This is, if you recognize that it's better never to have been, then there's no, you just can't be consistent by saying, oh no, if I'm dead, then it's something bad has happened to me. No. When you recognize that it's better never to have been, so it's better to no longer be. So yeah, that's not a harm. And like, it's again, it's the same. Like, you weren't conceived, or you were aborted, or you were, you know you died at a very young age, as a human. Like, you're but even that was a I would say, even that was like, you shouldn't let it get there, to that point. But yeah, logically, the you didn't have any memories of that, so whatever happened. You were just reacting when you were very young, like 2 years, 1 year, something around that. So yeah, It's not a harm. First of all, if anyone dies, you can't say that, oh, they're harmed. They are out of it. They're relieved of all this bullshit. They're they don't need this. You're only saying this because you are alive. It's it's so obvious. And why do you need to continue it tomorrow? Is the question. So yeah, that's the question, right? Why do you need to wake up tomorrow? Like, whoa. Basically, why aren't you committing suicide tonight, so to speak? That, the, you know, that's the you have to think about it. It's not just like, oh, I live, just forget about the reality. No, this is the truth. You have to, you know, be aware of the whole context of your existence and the whole existence of life on earth. You have to be aware of it. What's happening here. So, yeah, and you will impose by, this is one fact, you will impose by living tomorrow. You will pay for stuff that is going to be, because this whole system is designed in a shitty fucking way. It's going to cause exploitation inevitably, and it's just, animals being tested in the labs. It's so fucked up. Like, would you want to do that? Would you want to be vivisected? I don't think so. For what? For the continuation of this human race? Would you want to be vivisection? So yeah, you're part of this system. You can't help it. It's you're going to you can only reduce it, but it's, to an extent. But you you're occupying the space. You're occupying a space where a bunch of shit died. Basically you're occupying that space, this whole infrastructure. You are a part of this system. So you will impose. You can't live without that, without imposing in one way or another. You have to accept this reality, this fact that, oh, anything I do, I'm exploiting. So, so again, and now also you have to recognize that if you don't wake up tomorrow, then you will prevent your suffering, your future suffering. You can recognize that, hey, all these people, they get old, and there's so many risky fucking things, like, people die of horrible shit, and the ones who live long, they get fucked in the end, like, they get on the wheelchair and you're fucked, you know so yeah, you will prevent all of that, the you know all the all the risk getting to there, and you will prevent all this bullshit. So you will prevent your own suffering, and you you can also recognize that you will also prevent the suffering that you're going to impose by just merely existing. And it's the truth. So yeah, and like, it's and just this whole pretending of, oh, we're going to it better, like, it's going to be better. No, we're just addicted to some desire, some ego, some, I don't know, some neurology that we're all just stuck in. To, yeah, I need to live. Like, it's it's just an addiction, and it's not a good thing. And there is nothing positive. Like, you can't this this whole thing that, oh, there's some positive here by us existing. No, there's no positive. There's, you know, and for like yourself, if you want to say there's some positive for your personal self, no, there is none. Even if you're being selfish, you're going to be saying the same things that I'm saying right now. It's, yeah, it's the, for for me, that's the best thing, right? I get out of here, obviously. So it's, that one's also like right at your face. Yeah, this is the logic. This is where it leads. So yeah, it's, and the whole asymmetry, like the, all the goods are just a relief from the bads, the negatives. The positives are just the temporary relief from the negative, and then the negative comes back. So you recognize this as a cycle of this negative and being relieved and negative, and it's a negative. It's not a positive. It's a negative. It doesn't need to exist tomorrow, or it needs to end as soon as we can end it. So yeah, that's what you can do. What you as a single player can recognize, that hey, getting out is, you win by prevention, but then you, for for the whole game, you have to recognize that if you're if you're in it for the, if you're going to be principled about ending it, about, this needs to be ended, like, it's no mas, no more. This is so, this shouldn't be acceptable by intelligent being. It's too messy and too risky, and the time is ticking here. The climate is going to, the collapse will happen. So why do we need to prolong this whole existence? And people are having kids. Like, this is so stupid, right? This is, it's fuck. People are having kids today when they know what's likely to happen in the future, which is disaster. And like right now, it's disaster. Fuck. So yeah, and then the objections that, you get is, oh, you're imposing death on the living beings. I mean, that's just, you're going to impose death on, like, by not ending this, by not ending this, by not taking this planet, like, suffering exists on this planet, instead of, like, don't just get in the you know, chase of, oh, there could be some other shit that could be happening in some other planet and this and that. No, you got the evidence for this planet. You take the win. This is the win. You take it. You 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 know sentience is suffering. It's negative. Sentience is negative. You know that. You end it, you win. You prevent the negative. You prevent the negative. It's logic. You win. You take the planet, you win. So you have to impose to not let the cycle of imposition continue in the future, which it is. You can't escape that. That's living. That's the evolution. That's the competition. That's the consumption that we're, you know, live more, live more, live more. So yeah, that's not a good, you know, good argument to not end this. And then they're like, oh, but I have aspirations and goals and this and that, and like realistically, like think about it. You're going to the the future, like the rats being vivisected, and there's their body being cut open and it's fucked, and you're gonna say to them that, oh, I have tomorrow for, like, I have to, my aspirations are so valuable that, yeah, you go through this pain. Would you really say, would you really think that's a good, you know, good argument? I mean, it's not a, the the value of the torture is, it's much heavier because you wouldn't want to be one of these experimental animals. You wouldn't want to be the the deer being chased by the lion in the wild. You wouldn't want to be that, and you would prevent that. You would do whatever you can to prevent that, which is evidenced by our civilization. So this is so stupid. And what is, and then another thing, like some people say that, I get this on Reddit and stuff. Maybe suicide is not the answer. Mm, so what is the answer? Like, live more. Okay. And I would say, like, this is my argument. Like, if if you look at the game of life, the real game, these are just traps you're falling into, and you just get out of the trap, and one there's going to be your final trap, and you just won't be able to, step out of it and just succumb and die. So if you're going to play this game, then I think that's the game of suicide. Yeah, life is suicide, right? You can make the argument, oh, you're playing this game is suicide. What are you doing? Like, when you're doing something very risky, and they're like, oh, hey, don't do this. That's suicide. That kind of shit. So this life is suicide. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So, and another like, but I'm not suffering, I feel so good. Like, mm, you're, this is, you're just, you have to recognize your, it's just better because you can compare it to a negative. If I take away your Wi-Fi, you're going to, like, you're gonna, oh no. But then I can say, oh, but I still have food, right? So this is the asymmetry, right? This is, the good is just the absence of the bad. There's no positive. There's no positive. There's just negative. It's life is negative. And that's the logic. So, and just because you're feeling good right now doesn't mean you'll feel good later or when you're dying. And like, even when you're on your deathbed, and you'll be suffering if they ask you, some of you are like so fucked up by your ego and psychology, you're gonna be like, no, no, it was worth it. You know, going through cancer and shit, yeah, it was worth it. Yeah, they would still won't accept the, this whole, this stoic thing. Oh, I somehow won or whatever. You know. And again, like, even if you're feeling good, why is that a positive? Like, to why is that a positive in the universe? Why does it need to happen tomorrow? Someone feeling good. Why does it need to happen in the universe? What's the necessity? What's being accomplished? What is uh, what is it fulfilling? If there's no need for, your children to be born here, is there a need for you to be born tomorrow, like, so to speak? You know, you can think about it. So, yeah. So it's, we have to recognize that there's an imperative here, that the evidence points towards a conclusion. The evidence is that life is causing unnecessary suffering by continuing to exist every day. And you can pretend that reducing it makes it okay, but no, for the victims, it still doesn't make it okay. It's, if you're imposed on it, you're like, they were reducing it, okay, but I wasn't part of the reduction this time, that kind of shit. You have to end it. It's imperative to end it. And so we need to exist to, why do we need to exist? I would say we need to exist to end this cycle of suffering on earth. And that's the only logical reason, principle to hold and, minimize your harm footprint here and exist. And but even with that, I can say, oh, but what if this happens, and what if that happens, and we can, the sooner we get out of here, the sooner we get out of here, the better it is for everyone who's alive, who's sentient, and just, get the, just end this plight on earth, just end this earth, like, you know through technology and research in physics, and how we can efficiently get the job done. That's it. That's the only reason. That's the only imperative here, and that would be the reason to exist. But other than that, is no. And if you can, and again you can make the argument that, uh, but I'm not well equipped or this or that, and if you're going to say that, no, I need to exist, so I can say then I can have a child that need to exist, and you can train him at a young age with your philosophy and this and blah 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 blah, and that would accomplish the task. But you wouldn't say that, right? And the same would be for if you if you're if it gets overwhelming, then it's and once you look at the reality right now, they're all rocks basically. They're it's like nobody has a brain. So yeah, it's pretty discouraging, and you're just like, oh, just do something to have an impact and be rational about your impact as well. Like, let's get honest, what's in control over here? It's so fucked up. This whole oh, people, 8 billion. Devastating. So yeah, it's there's nothing wrong with offing this whole cycle of, oh, I have to be alive and do something here. If you wanna off this, that's you're that's a rational choice. You know, it's better than existing like what 99% of people are doing, just existing and causing a mess by their addictions and their happy moments, and haha, we're having so much fun, and it's also perfect. And no, if you look at it in whole, like as a whole, no, it's not. It's nothing. You it it's not even at P yet. Get it to perfect. It's not even that close. So fucked up, and that's the reality. So yeah, I think that's enough.